Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our flight into the deep of this amazing language. Last time we talked about 兰心蕙质. It talks about the ideal of ancient women who are actually educated and independent thinker and who are kind of intellectually prone. So they have their own thoughts, that they are like this kind of a plant that can sorting, the good from bad, pros and cons. They really know, they can tell, and they're wise, so to speak, because we often say wise old man, but why can't woman, right? So this is the wise woman, that type. And Hui is the plant that got this connection, this thread symbol with heart. So that's connected heart. So with empathy. So who can relate to you, understand you. So that's the kind of women that are ideal for, I guess, a good wife material, because they are well read and understand situations, can be really supportive and be a good teammate. 心地善良 is today's phrase. We have the same 心, and we have seen this 心 symbol a lot throughout our language expressions, because this is a common, referral of mental activity, even if you pointing to the wrong direction, right? It's hard, but hard is our, we know the contemporary anatomy. So ancient English as well as Chinese cultures both are using hard as the referral of mental activity or your emotions, especially. So Chinese characters hard, just in my view, it looks like a lobster, but it's like one cavity or one chamber with 3 tubes coming out. That's a visual depiction of the heart. Okay, D. We have left and right structure, and the left is our soil, our earth, our ground, however you want to view it, is the big vast thing, and our feet, right? And this we express by using, so if we use one horizontal line, that's our number 1, and it doesn't really tell you where it's positioned, right? It could be meant to be the sky or the ground, right? If we just use one horizontal line, it's like you can fill out the blank in many, many ways. But if we place a cross on top of it, here's my reading now. Okay, so the top line is actually the ground level. And then the vertical line is something growing, the plant. And then the bottom line is the root, like going down there. So that means something is growing from here. It may not be blooming yet, because once it blooms, it will have this extra, bushes or branches going out. That's like things are really living well, lively. This is just something planted in earth. And because Chinese is a act-based culture, so a lot of symbols coming from, ground, soil, grass, and of course heart. We do have heart. And yeah, okay, yeah came from this symbol that comes from, now it looks a little bit abstract, but the middle portion, kind of a balloon looking, that's the mouth symbol. And we have some air going through it. And I don't know, this fluffy thing, like why there is this going down and up, almost like a sharp drop the stock line chart. No, but it has nothing to do with that. Okay, it's just the breath going downward. Okay, this character, if you don't look at the left, that's soil. If you only look at the right, pronounced yeah, and yeah is a very abstract word in Chinese language, because most of the times the Chinese language have some concrete meaning, at least it came from something, right? You can refer to objects that are visibly seen, but this is one of the abstract one that related to the way we are speaking, because Chinese, we didn't have punctuality, like punctuation marks. Back then, we don't have commas and periods, that from borrowed systems eventually. So Chinese would use things like this, yeah, at the end of their meaning, and to mark, that's it, your breath from your mouth is going down. It's like the sound, the volume is going to die down. You're not going to say anything more. That's it. Okay, leave it there. So that's the original concept of ye. It's our end of a sentence, so to speak. That's our ancient way of a period, our full stop. So soil and full stop, like why it's ground. My reading of it is because it's originally coming from the way our breath going, right? So from the mouth, this curve means the sound goes down, or the volume goes down, or the breath going down. So it's downward pointing. So if it's downward pointing and there's ground right there, so the whole thing just simply means ground. It's anything that's, it's where what's under our feet. Okay, shat. Shat came from this sheep symbol. It's symmetrical. It's visually just beautiful. Okay, we have two horns that pointy like that, right? And then we have three horizontal lines. That's the fluffiness of the sheep. That's the fur. Is it called fur? Sheep. The things that we harvest as a fiber. That's our, what's the fiber for sheep, from sheep? Geez, I blank out, but sorry, I blank out on that, but it's a main fur, main fiber that keeps us warm, right? And then this one long line stick all the way, like pointed, right? And all the way pointed to the ground. That's elongated, standing, like one leg standing. Anyways, the whole structure that with the elongated pole, like a standing leg of the sheep, the whole symbol is a sheep. And then the left and right, you see, it's symmetrical. It's looking exactly the same. That whole thing means speaking. And here is how it works. This symbol, this block with up tilted corner of mouth, this is our mouth symbol. And then with this cross, kind of like cross pointer to that, and with this arch, again, like arch pointing upward line. This plus the mouth means the tongue. So this is a very particular specific organ inside your mouth. That's how we point, like, okay, that's that cross. I interpret it as that's targeting. You're targeting your attention to somewhere inside the mouth. And then this is kind of the shape of the thing. Of course, there's not, besides the teeth, we have a way of expressing the teeth. There's tongue inside your mouth. So that's the tongue. And then there's two horizontal lines. As I said before, the bottom horizontal line always longer and the top one is shorter. That visually also is kind of a sound waves going, diminishing through air or through time, right? So the whole thing, one is the organ to make sound. The one is the sound bits, the results of making the sound. So it's, expressed in the mechanism of sound making and the result of sound making. So the whole thing is sound making verbally. So it's a verbalization. So we have two verbalizations, two speaking symbols underneath this sheep, elegant overarching sheep symbol on the top. So that, my interpretation is sheep. This is a kind of a cross-culture unifying cultural element, that sheep actually is our symbol of innocence and sacrifice as well. Sheep was offering to the gods back then. So I don't know, maybe at the beginning of the cultures, the East and West are related, but sheep in Chinese character here also means something good, because only the best thing you're going to pick from what you have, right? It's a domestic animal. It's a nutritious protein, right? And that's the best thing you have on your dinner table that you're going to offering to the god. So sheep coming from the connection to God offering, that's good, something good innately, like a culturally assigned, that's the good thing. Sheep symbol means good, right? And then we have two speaking under the good. That means you're speaking well to each other. Like a two speaking conversation, you speak in a good intention or good verbalized way that you are not going to go into argument or a conflict. So this is kind of harmoniously equal speaking, good intentioned, the whole atmosphere of that. That's the kindness. Kindness concreted as well-intentioned, calm conversation. Okay. Liang is a little bit difficult to explain. Liang essentially just like this, but not as easily understood. I tried this once before. And okay, here again, the bottom, okay, two parts here. Even if the contemporary Chinese is hard to see, it's even harder to read what exactly that means. And the ancient character looks like, okay, bottom part and top part. The bottom part means diseased, like something is ending, somebody is dead. We literally use this character as dead or death. So, okay, how is that? I mean, visually, why is that dead? Okay, here's the thing. The bottom left with this kind of S curve, twisted sideways. That's probably stylized, but this is bottom left corner. Bottom left corner often used as something not so obvious. It's something on the ground, on a corner. You have to really looking hard to find that place. So this is kind of a hidden place. And this, okay, we have this person symbol from the beginning. This is the beginning of our journey. This is the one character. If you know about Chinese, this is the essential. This is our person, human. Simply that. So two legs combined, human sign. And of course, it has all kinds of variations and deformations. In this case, it's a human widely spread out like that, right? But still, it's like two strokes connected on the top. That's a human figure. So a human figure trying to find a place to hide. That's the kind of Wang. Wang originally doesn't mean death. Wang originally means hiding. So I guess eventually if it's a permanent hiding place, that's simply like you're gone, you're nowhere to be found. So that eventually referred to death itself, but it came from the hiding. And the top, okay, it's really difficult to explain. It's the sun symbol, right? This kind of oval shape container with a horizontal line, that's our sun. And then the top, kind of like a crown or kind of a container, right, in the middle. So that's really abstract. I couldn't explain to it. Scholars search up this portion. It means full. It means content. So, okay, you have a content and you have a hideaway place. Together means good. Right now, I can only interpret it as, okay, you're content with life and you're good to go. That's it. Okay, so 心地善良, together it means kind-hearted. Your heart, ground level of your heart. That means stripping off the external or the non-essential. So this is the essence of your heart. That's our 心地. Like if you look down to the bottom of the heart, yeah, bottom of the heart probably is a better way. Bottom of the heart, somebody who is kind in their verbalization, they treat people kindly by their words, right? That's related to speaking. And liang is like they are content. They don't mean to harm you. They got what they want and they are good to hide away. So that's kind of kind-hearted, simplified explanation. Okay. This is an ancient piece. I didn't check exactly how ancient, but this vase. Okay, back then the vases developed, made by craftsmen who may have generations of knowledge passed down person to person, father and the son, chains of knowledge accumulated over generations to make the perfect vase or whatever, into whatever shape. But this particular color, it was said a kind of a trade secret back then, because this is the type of blue. It kind of corresponding to English baby blue because it's really light. But in Chinese, we call it the 天青色. 天青色 is the sky color that's right after the rain. So the sky was clear and the sun was not like a bright yet. So it's kind of a misty blue in after the rain sky. And it's really aesthetically beautiful. And that moment of sky color was captured by this vase's color. And that's regarded as the representation of a purity. So I connect this kind-hearted with this purity on this art piece to try to make that connection of okay, if you are pure, you probably can be kind-hearted treating other people because you are that content and you're good to go. Okay, anyways, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.